Hello my friends, welcome back to another teaser breakdown on Star Trek Picard. Actually, I'm starting to think we're getting a bit spoiled now at this point. There's just so much out there. Is there going to be anything left to show us in Season 2? Well, we'll find out, won't we? But for now, I am Sean Ferrick for Trek Culture, and here are 8 things you missed from the Star Trek Picard social media teaser. Now before we get started, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You'll know at this stage how much your subscriptions help this channel. It's totally free and it helps us to completely build the channel going forward. We are aiming for 200,000 subscribers by summer of 2022, and you can directly help us do that just by hitting that subscribe button below. And if you've already subscribed, like so many of you have, you absolute legends, just like and share this video as well. That will help it go a long way. You're all wonderful. Let's get to it. Number 8. Agnes, why are you so close to that queen? In the marketing that we've seen so far for Annie Wersching's Borg Queen and for Agnes Jurati, who's played by Alison Pill, we have seen that those two characters will come together, but obviously as of yet we have absolutely no context. Now we can infer from what we've seen that the Borg will play a role somewhat in the time travel elements of the show. Now we'll get back to time travel now in a second. So we have seen that the Borg Queen and Agnes Jurati will physically be close to each other on La Sirena, but here the embrace is almost tender. Now obviously, I don't want to generalize, but I ain't never going to trust a Borg Queen. When the Queen is reaching her hand out to Jurati's face, it doesn't look good for her. I mean, that looks like we might be getting a new drone. And that is worrying because Jurati went through an arc in Season 1. I'm not going to say it was an amazing arc, but it certainly was an arc. So by the end of the season, you know, I was excited to see where she's going with this in Season 2. I would be concerned if they Borgify her in Season 2 because the nature of a drone, it's difficult to really engage with them. We're not talking about former drones. Obviously 7 of 9 is one of the most fantastic characters in Star Trek. And we only had Locutus for half an episode. It remains to be seen, but things don't look good for Agnes Jurati here. Number 7, we believe in cardio in the 24th century. In the previous trailer, we were absolutely spoiled with the revelation that a Steamrunner class and what looks like 2 Nova class ships are chasing after La Sirena. I have been championing the movement of bring legacy ships to Star Trek Picard, and I'm delighted you listened. Alex, thanks a million, appreciate it, mate. Now, however, they seem to have given my request with a bit of a sting in the tail because a shot showing 23 90s era Starfleet officers running like Usain Bolt through the corridors of one of the ships doesn't suggest good things, nor does it when you freeze frame and you see the beautiful Steamrunner and the beautiful Nova go bang bang boom boom. I mean, I asked you to bring me back legacy ships. I didn't say blow them up the second you brought them into the show. Number 6, interrogate this. Now, between all of the various teasers and released media, we have seen that at least at some point or another, Picard is going to end up in an interrogation room in what looks like 21st century LA. This teaser goes a little bit more to forwarding this because Picard, in all of his grandeur, stands there and says to his interrogator, "The future has been altered and I'm here to save the whole galaxy." It's nice to have lofty goals. That suggests to us that he is at least going to tell the interrogator the truth. Now, some eagle-eyed fans spotted 1 or 2 teasers ago that the interrogator looks an awful lot like Jay Kearns, who played Lieutenant Duquesne in the Voyager episode Relativity. Now, the USS Relativity was a time ship and it was tasked with checking out and fixing potential incursions in time. I had a shifty over on IMDb and Jay Kearns is not slated to appear in Season 2 of Picard. This could of course be a misdirect, but however, it's not there. It could be a lookalike. It could be absolutely nothing to do with the character. This could be your bog standard cop. Now, we get a flash of bog standard cop with a cool travel mug beside him, holding Picard's comm badge. All of this together, I think, that there's a reason Picard has chosen to tell this interrogator honestly why he's in 21st century LA. Now, we all know that if I was to sit here right now and go, actually, right, guys, I am from the 24th century, I have come back from an altered future to fix time, you'd have me sectioned faster than I finished the video. So Picard's playing a risk here. So we need to understand why. Why is he choosing to be honest with this character? I'm thinking that this character may be aware in some way, but that also opens up an entire new Pandora's box of, all right, well, if he is a time traveler, why isn't he doing out to help? Maybe he is. Maybe the market is just leaving him out. Who knows? It's got us asking questions. Well played, teaser. Well played. Number 5, assimilated La Sirena. Now, this is an update on the last trailer breakdown we gave you, where I said La Sirena is looking quite armoured, having lost the lovely red and white paint. But what if it's not been armoured, it's been assimilated? We know, having seen her in various shots, that the Borg Queen is on board La Sirena, and we see her crawling across the deck in this one. We get a wide angle of space, and it seems to be green energy weapons emanating from the armoured La Sirena. Who fires green? Well, the Romulans and the Borg. It would tie certainly up with the idea of don't trust the Borg Queen, but also in the altered future, the XBs are hunting our regular cast. We've seen shots of Rios and Elnor fighting the XBs peppered throughout the trailers. So we know as well that at some point La Sirena is going to be boarded. Now, I do have another theory about that, but we do know that La Sirena's shields, for example, not quite as amazing as you'd hope they were. Are we seeing an assimilated La Sirena? I mean, if you go timey-wimey and wibbly-wobbly, you can do absolutely anything you want within the confines of Star Trek or any science fiction. If you're going to say, listen, reset button at the end of it, the cop-out of that aside, there is a very real chance we will be seeing a Borgified La Sirena, possibly to go along with Borgified Agnes Jurati, while Borgified Borg Queen sits there and hangs from her Borgified harness and just grins. Number 4, intruder on the... Never mind. We see in this trailer that 7 of 9 gets into an absolute brawl on board La Sirena. At one point we see her throw herself and the intruder over the security rail in La Sirena's bridge / transporter room / mess hall, tumbling down and slamming into some cargo. Now it gets a little bit worse for this person who presumably was just walking through and asking for directions, and then boom, 7 vaporizes them. Now this is not the first murder we've seen 7 commit. Bejazel, we hardly knew you. But of course we don't know the context here. We do know that in this scene, 7's implants are definitely not on show. A few of you actually very correctly spotted that throughout the marketing, now while we have been talking about, oh, her implants are gone, her implants are gone, of course they have been occluded in the past. Relativity, for example, they hid her implants. Now, Unimatrix Zero, potentially a different situation because that was a projection, but definitely in Relativity, you're right, they absolutely hid her Borg implants. Could this be the same thing here as a way to hide from the XBs, or is it altered future, 7 was never assimilated? We'll have to find out. 7 certainly didn't miss target practice, because yes, another death in the trailer. So that's a couple of murders we can now associate with 7 of 9 since she arrived in Star Trek Picard. While I'm a firm believer in no body, no death, technically she did kick Narissa to her death at the end of season 1. She killed Bejazel, and also she seems to now be killing this intruder on board La Sirena. What remains to be seen, of course, is the context of this. Presumably, somebody was trying to mess with her and her friends, and, well, quite frankly, based on this, I would like 7 of 9 on my side. Number 3, save the entire galaxy, but look good while doing it. Now, we had been teased with an image of Jean-Luc in black tie, and amazingly, Laris in black tie. But here we get our clearest look yet of Rios in a very nicely cut suit, I might say. Santiago Cabrera. But we also get a shot of a blonde individual running in a red gown over parked cars. Now, this could be Jurati or this could be 7. This could be another character. We absolutely have no idea who they are. But whoever they are, they're in a hurry Now, we did see a shot of this person from behind in a previous trailer in the streets of LA, whereas in this one, yeah, someone's on the run or someone's on the chase. Either way, looks like, well, we're bringing back the point about cardio, but we have Rios, Laris, unspecified blonde person, and Picard at some point or another are all on show in black tie gala attire. And quite frankly, I think it looks quite nice. It looks quite nice. I would like an invite to that party. Number 2, I came across time for you, Spiner. Toward the end of this teaser, Jean-Luc is standing in front of who we now know to be Brent Spiner's character, with him having been revealed in the previous trailer with his bushy beard. And we can see that, now the angle is kind of seeing this side of his face, but it's the exact same hair color, it's the exact same beard, it's Spiner. And Picard is saying, you have no idea who you're dealing with. I take from that this is not Picard saying, don't mess with me, brah. I cannot imagine Jean-Luc Picard saying, don't mess with me, brah. But it is definitely him advising that Q is not someone to be trifled with. There's a split-second shot in this trailer of what seems like a young, certainly an unwrinkled hand holding the bullet that we saw Q handing Spiner in the previous trailer. This time it says freedom on it. Theories abound as to what exactly changes the future. Is Q going back to stop the Bell riots, for example? He's in the right era, wrong city. Let's do some theorizing for a second. If Jean-Luc, Rios, and Laris all have to try and engage with Spiner at a black tie gala, then has he taken whatever Q's given him and built his fortune on that? Who knows? That's also, we've only seen Laris in one shot where she's in fancy gear. So don't know if she's actually going to be in the past. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. But definitely this is Jean-Luc interacting with Spiner, warning him against taking his new relationship with Q for granted. Number 1, an angry god. This brings us to the crux. So what is it Q has done? We've seen him in each of the trailers so far. We've seen his, his delightful, Mon Capitan and his happiness and he's smiling and everything. But there is a shot in this trailer where Q does not look happy. He's walking up to Picard with a face that could turn milk sour. And quite frankly, if an omnipotent being is not very happy with me, I done messed up. So it's going to be very interesting to see what is the impetus to all of this. Q's arrival seems to come after the change in the timeline. So is it a back and forth wibbly wobbly? Did Q appear after something had already been done that he then did in his future? It's hard to tell. What has him so pissed off at Jean-Luc? Is it simply that teaser we heard a couple of trailers back where I'm too old for your bullshit, Q? Or is it something else altogether? Is it Jean-Luc going, look, no, whatever you're doing, I'm out. No way. Again, possible. But Q does not look like a happy camper. And when Q is not happy, people tend to die. Let us not forget the 18 crew members who were carved out of the Enterprise D just because Picard said, we don't need you, Q. That is everything for our list for this hour. It seems like every 20 minutes there's a new teaser for Star Trek Picard, so I may very well see you again in a couple of hours, and I'm living for it. We've just over a month to go now until Star Trek Picard drops. Let us know what you're most excited for in the comments below. As I said, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can catch us over on Twitter at Trek Culture. You can catch myself at Sean Ferrick on Twitter as well. Don't forget to tune into my podcast at You're On Crack, Mate. And you look after yourselves till I'm talking to you again. You look after your friends and family, and you live long and prosper. Thanks very much.